Stop, don't do that. Max shouted through the open window of his car. A girl was standing on the bridge, clutching the metal railing with her frozen hands. Max braked sharply, parked at the roadside, quickly got out of the car, and ran toward the girl. Stay back. I've already made up my mind anyway, the girl replied without looking at Max. Wait, please, wait. That's okay, I'm staying back, Max pretended to stop. Look, I'm standing still. The girl quickly looked back in Max's direction and continued to look down. Don't do anything stupid, you're so young. Max continued to talk to the girl and slowly made his way towards her. Stay where you are, the girl shouted. By the way, my name is Max. He realized he needed to try to distract her and get as close as he could to keep her from jumping. Listen, do you like ice cream? She replied quietly, it doesn't really matter anymore. I love ice cream. I'd have some right now. Max continued to approach the girl slowly. Is the wind strong? He asked. It doesn't matter anymore, she repeated the phrase. How old are you? Max was already very close to the girl and tried to speak quietly so she wouldn't realize he was approaching. They were only a couple of steps away from the girl. Max quickly overcame this distance, grabbed the girl, and threw her back onto the bridge over the railing with all his might. They fell onto the sidewalk, and Max continued to hold the girl tightly. It's okay, calm down, Max said and started stroking the girl's head. She wasn't wearing a hat or gloves, only a jacket that didn't save her from the freezing wind. The girl started crying, she was shaking, trying to say something. It's okay, everything's okay, Max tried to comfort her. One of the drivers ran up to the couple sitting on the bridge. Do you need any help? He asked. It's okay, Max replied to the passerby, raising his right hand. No help needed. Everything is fine now. The driver went to his car, and 10 minutes later, Max and the girl were sitting on the bridge with no witnesses. Okay, come on, get up. You're freezing. What's your name? Max asked. Shaking off her clothes, Hannah, she said softly, barely audible. They headed toward Max's car. He opened the passenger door and helped the girl to get inside, fastened her seatbelt, and quickly got into the driver's seat. Max turned the cabin heat up to the maximum. Is it warm enough for you? Yes, good. Where should I take you? Max asked. I have nowhere to go, Hannah replied calmly. In that case, let's go to my place, Max smiled. It was about a 10-minute drive from the bridge to Max's house, so they quickly reached their destination. Max parked the car and walked to the passenger door. He carefully unfastened her seatbelt and helped Hannah out of the car. You're finally home, Max's wife greeted her husband on the doorstep. Who's this, Rachel? I'll explain everything in a moment, but first, please fill the tub with hot water. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with her? Rachel asked, looking at the girl. She wanted to jump off the bridge, but I stopped her. Max rushed to the bathroom and began to fill the water. Rachel, please help her bathe. She's freezing to death. Michael is already asleep. He didn't wait for you and fell asleep, Rachel said quietly. So, what's your name? Rachel asked Hannah. The girl replied quietly, Hannah. And how old are you, Hannah? Max asked. 18. So, what happened to you that you, Rachel continued, decided to end your life? Rachel, leave her alone. Let her come to her senses, Max said to his wife. Okay, get up. Let's go warm you up. Rachel led Hannah into the bathroom and came out 3 minutes later. Fortunately, you didn't have time to lock the door from the inside, Rachel looked at Max with a smile. Right. Ask her if she can have some dairy, Max turned to his wife. Rachel returned from the bathroom and informed that Hannah could have some milk. That's great. I'll warm some milk with honey for her. She should drink some after taking a bath so she doesn't get a cold. Max opened the refrigerator and started looking for milk. Why don't you tell me all the details? There are no details. Max carefully took his sleeping son into his and Rachel's bedroom and walked Hannah until Michael's room. Daddy, she's awake, Michael shouted. Right, Michael shouted in Hannah's ear. Why are you shouting so loudly? Max replied in a very loud whisper. Hannah opened her eyes and saw a boy of about 4 years old sitting in front of her, informing the whole family, very mildly, that she was awake. Who are you, and why are you sleeping in my bed? Michael questioned. My name is Hannah, the girl replied quietly. I'm sorry, kiddo. I just didn't have any other place to sleep. Are you always going to sleep here now? Michael asked, looking at his toys at the same time. No, Hannah said, on the bed. I'll leave tonight. Will you play with me? Michael put a big plastic truck on the bed. Look what I have. Wow, what a great truck. Hannah pretended to be curious. Good morning, Hannah, Max congratulated her. And Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, headed to the car together with Hannah. That's his mom, Hannah said, smiling. Max accepted a new order, and they drove off for another round of impressions. Good afternoon, a pleasant lady opened the door. Her left leg was in a cast. I have packed presents for my grandchildren, the woman pointed to the boxes. Apparently, the woman was expecting important guests, as her hair was nicely styled, her makeup was done, and only her home clothes messed up the overall look. Don't consider it rudeness, but my daughter has prepared a bag of clothes for charity. I think it would fit your daughter perfectly, the woman nodded toward Hannah. Just to help me bring it, she turned to Max. Her house looked like a palace. There were expensive paintings and lamps on the walls, magnificent furniture in the hallway, and a nice fireplace in the living room. Max had brought a big bag of clothes. Clothes and tags were sticking out of the bag, and it was clear that there were brand new clothes in the bag. They got into the car and drove off to deliver the gifts. Hello, we delivered gifts from your caring mom, Max said. They were met by a husband and wife whose faces showed total indifference. A little later, two girls ran out into the yard. It's for you, Max pulled out the boxes and handed them to the girls. The twins began to aggressively tear the gift wrap. I told you to put this under the Christmas tree, the mother yelled at the children. Mom, we already have the same dolls. The girls angrily threw the boxes at their mother's feet and ran crying into the room. Oh my goodness, I told her what doll she should buy, the mother said, grudgingly. The rest of the gifts didn't please this family either. Wow, even something like that happens, Max said frustratedly to Hannah. She must have spent a lot of time picking out those presents, wanting to make them happy, and they just threw those boxes away like some kind of trash. Hannah was upset too. Okay, let's go pick up the rest of the gifts now, Max said. Please be very careful, don't dent the box. The woman handed over the huge box containing the cake. Don't worry, we'll deliver everything safely, Max shouted happily. Look what a responsible assistant I have. Max handed the cake to Hannah, who was sitting in the car. It's not interesting, we already know there's a cake in the box. But what we don't know is who's going to eat it. It's too huge, I've only seen such a big cake at my wedding, Max laughed and began to drive out of the yard. Careful, they pulled up to the next location. Max took the cake from Hannah and asked her to dial the apartment number on the intercom. There were some children's voices coming out of the intercom. I got it, it's a birthday cake, Max stated. They got to the right floor, the door was open, so they walked in. Oh hi, but we didn't order a cake, the lady was very surprised. Children of different ages ran out into the hallway, but they all looked like this woman. Max and Hannah didn't understand anything over this noise, but they realized someone had been born here today. Who is this cake from? Do I have to pay you? The woman was confused. No, it's a gift, Max replied. This time Hannah and Max got into the car, smiling. Now we can have some ice cream, Max said happily. What's your favorite flavor? Any flavor, Hannah replied. I've noticed you don't use a phone. When is she coming back? Max asked. My mom is on a business trip. I turned it off. I don't want to hear anyone, Hannah replied tiredly. When is she coming back? Max clarified. She should be back in a week. Honestly, I don't want to be a burden to you. I think it would be better for me to leave tonight. Where are you going to go? Max asked. Maybe to Grandma's. I don't want to go home. Hannah looked somewhere ahead reflectively. Okay, let's go to the store and get groceries for Christmas dinner. Hopefully, that will distract you from your depressing thoughts, Max smiled. They stopped by the store, and Max handed Hannah a chocolate ice cream. Hannah, why don't you celebrate Christmas with us and then go to Grandma's? We're not expecting any guests anyway, and you won't be so bored. Is it a good idea? Hannah asked. Sure. I don't think Rachel and Michael would mind. Rachel gave Hannah one of her cocktail dresses, and Michael was running around the Christmas tree calling out for Santa Claus. Rachel and Max also changed into party outfits. Together, they all looked like one happy family. Over the past couple of days, Hannah began to talk more, to laugh, and to amuse Michael by playing with him. Neither Rachel nor Max had ever asked Hannah why she was standing on the bridge that night, ready to jump. They knew nothing about Hannah. But Hannah had learned a lot about them. Hannah knew that kindness was not about buying gifts, but about caring and respect, and family is more than the instructions and orders of elders, and children have their rights too, and the most important thing is to listen to each other and to hear each other. Hannah asked for a picture together. For that moment, she was part of their family, and it was enough for her. Over the past few days, she had been delivering gifts with Max and had managed to earn some money. The girl bought small gifts for everyone, Christmas decorations, and Michael made a Christmas card for her. Can I call you sometimes? Hannah asked timidly. Rarely. I will not be annoying. I just really want you to always be with me, darling. You don't have to ask about it, Rachel wrapped Hannah. Of course you can call us anytime you want. Rachel wrapped Hannah in a cozy blanket. Just promise me you won't call from a bridge. Rachel. Max stopped his wife apprehensively. What are you talking about? No, she's right, Hannah supported Rachel. I'll call you when I'm eating ice cream or when I'm trying to guess who I'm delivering the envelope to. Hannah winked at Max. A year later, Hannah sent Max's family a picture of her standing among trees covered in snow, holding a handwritten poster saying, "Thank you for a new life." Thank you for joining us today on Deep Stories. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video.